Coty calling Avon. This cosmetics company from Europe has launched a $10 billion offer for Avon. It's actually not a hostile offer, but it's a bit of a bear hug. Makes sense to us, given, as you've written on many occasions, Agnes, Avon has got a hapless board. They've dithered. They've opened the door, essentially, to a bid by Coty.
Exactly. I think I mean, again, like, Avon has been struggling for quite a while. They've done like 2 restructuring plans. Things have not really worked out. They're going to restructure their operations again. They're struggling in places like Brazil, which is incredibly important for this kind of business.
Right.
So again, this is all going on, but they're still sticking with their longtime chief, right?
Right.
I mean,
now, of course, it's worth recalling that last year you called for Andrea Young's head.
That's right.
And in the end, they didn't actually sacrifice her. It was a really weird, sort of halfway, not very
They're going to bring on a new CEO, but she remains chairman, and still is going to be very much directing the company.
So this seems like, for the first few years she was there, as I remember, things went really well.
Exactly.
And then they started going badly, and she had a restructuring. A revamp was supposed to solve everything, shares went down. Another revamp was supposed to solve everything, shares went down. Yet the board is still sticking with her as chairman, which is the ultimate backseat driving as and when they find a CEO.
Exactly. And
so it's a perfect
don't forget, add to that, there was also an SEC investigation, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's still this ongoing issue with bribery in China. I mean, again, there's a lot going on. I mean, you just look at the share price; it's suffering. And again, and this comes out, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. I mean, I don't think a lot of people thought of this. It's a private company; they weren't looking at it, and they do kind of fit together. Coty is fragrance, Avon is makeup. I mean, you can go door to door
and Avon gives them a way into a lot of these emerging markets where this model.
Exactly.
The Avon lady knocking on the door
really works.
Really
and again, like
work.
Coty doesn't have any infrastructure in some of these markets. So again, for them, they just look at it. And let's not forget, debt financing right now is, easy to come
let's
by.
talk about the financing. What's really interesting about this is Coty is a private company. It's owned by the Benckiser people. It's actually chaired by Bart Brecht, who used to run Reckitt Benckiser, which is kind of interesting because he was an acquisitions monster machine over the years. Turned Reckitt Benckiser into a real powerhouse in basically personal home products, that kind of thing. Now they're making this bid. They say they're not going to go hostile. Right. But you open the can. It's obvious.
And they had already been dealing with the board kind of in backdoor channels, and they weren't they were being rejected. So that's why they decided to go public with this.
Now, but the offer is of course cash. They're going to raise it. J.P. Morgan is backing them, but interestingly, they're going to add a lot of equity to it. We don't know how much equity, but they're going to have to inject equity, and they've got Byron Trott, who is Buffett's favorite investment banker, raising the money for them.
Yeah. So they have a lot of heavy hitters behind this, right? And again, I think it's going to be. I mean, you can kind of see the pop in the share price today. It's compelling, right? And it's something that I think the board is going to have to consider more than just rejecting.
But it's the usual dance, right? In a way, the board's rejecting these early advances. But on the other hand, the excuse is, oh, but it undervalues our shares. But the fact is, the shares have been sinking. It's not working with.
I mean, there is one argument. You look at it; they're offering 20-something,
23 change.
Right. The stock had been up to like 49, something like that, during Andrea Young's tenure. It's like 8 times EBITDA. Is that what they're saying? Something like that.
Yeah.
They're saying, on a whole bunch of levels, they can make the value argument. But I agree with you. This thing is going to run it. It's going to keep running.
Yeah.
All right. We'll keep an eye on that and other stories, and we'll be back with more Breaking Views tomorrow.